Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone and rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. News in his gospel, broad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. It's Akia. I had to hop on it. I don't know if you had something planned on it, but this popped up in my timeline and it was already in my spirit to kind of go into it because I saw a video. Well, I didn't see the video, but the clip here, it says it begins AI disobeys humans, threaten engineers with blackmail. Okay, which that's actually another good topic that Lord's will I could hop on as well. But I was looking at this clip. Well, not a clip, but you know how when you scroll through the feed and you see the titles of videos, and it was basically like crypto thefts and how big executives were on edge because of crypto theft. So I didn't click on it. So it disappeared from the timeline, but I think I saved it. But it was kind of in tandem with that because now people are starting to rouse up against the system, you know, and basically executives on edge because of crypto theft. So I don't know what that all entails, but it put me in a spirit of people rebelling and revolting because, you know, times are hard. People are going through dire straits, and hell, this is going to be the ordeal that get everything back in its proper frame, so to speak. But they're going to incentivize people for accepting the mark of the beast, right? So I was going through the comments and I looked up incentivize because 12 Tribes of Israel 95, he put up here, it says incentivize, the act of providing a reward or benefit to encourage a particular behavior or action, meaning, you know, when they have like certain celebrities that promotes this technology, then Jake would be more in tandem of taking it because, you know, they feel they can trust their celebrities, you know, which the celebrities are bought and paid for. But I looked up incentivize and it says here, a third person presents incentivize past tense, incentivize, providing someone with an incentive for doing something. Okay, so basically you're incentivized to work, right? So let's just say, well, look, if you do this job or you mow this lawn, I give you $500 a yard. And on top of that, I give you extra bonuses and free food. So basically you've been incentivized to do a particular job. So they're going to incentivize Jake or people in general to take this mark because under national security threat, like when you go into that movie, it's called Enemy of the State. And I don't remember the ins and outs of it, but I do know that they was after him and they was tracking him. But basically, we're going to become enemies of the state because as they creep into this new system, everybody is going to have to receive the mark. And if you don't receive the mark, then it's going to be some type of form or some type of system that's going to identify you as to not receiving it. Now, to make that make sense, in order to be coded in a system, you have to have the chip, right? But I'm assuming that they're going to have some type of program or some type of parameters set up to know people that didn't take the ordeal. Now, would it be an immediate thing? I don't know, you know, because I'm pretty sure people are going to be able to go under the wrap with this thing and pretty much hide out of sight. But just the way things are gearing towards as far as jobs and economic stability and having to live, they're going to broaden the whole spectrum, man, meaning that you're not going to be able to have a home. So by default, people being pushed out don't accept this system. I mean, that go to snitch method right there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, okay, well, I can't live in my apartment unless I got this chip. So I have to leave my apartment. Then technically, shit, I mean, that's a telltale right there. Well, obviously he ain't got the chip because why is he homeless now? He ain't been at work. He ain't do such and such. And Esau knows our stance on this. And he knows our stance on this, man. You know, because he understands that through the Spirit, there's going to be a remnant of men and women that don't bow down to this system. Now, they got something which is called the real ID, which, I mean, that's not, I mean, this is what they get. See, they're getting people in a mindset of getting acclimated to this. Now, I'm sure brothers got the real ID because it's just an upgraded ID. It's all it is a driver's license or ID. But then, you know, they give you the ideal on if you want to take it or not. And most people that travel on planes domestically, they got the real ID unless they got passports because, you know, they want to travel or whatever with their jobs and shit like that. But there's going to come a time that things like that will be made mandatory and you're going to have to make a stance. All right. So I'm not saying you brothers that got the real ID or anything of that nation, that you wicked. No, it's just a fucking ID. But they show you the mindset of where they're going with this, because you see what they're doing. Most people like to travel in the summertime, right? And they made that shit mandatory May 7th of this year. So basically they did it right before people travel and go on their vacations, because everybody wants to travel to Miami and fucking Miami, Texas, wherever, the Bahamas, Dominican Republic. You got to have a real ID to do that now if you're going to get on a plane, you know. So you see how they're doing it, right? They're trying to incorporate certain benefactors that's tied to certain things you have to do that you may not otherwise do. And that's going to be the same thing with this MOTB rollout. But instead, it's going to come with bloodshed, because they're going to try to hunt the ones down that don't take the mark. And for damn sure, we're not taking it. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Yahweh Shemi Shai commanded us not to. So you're really going to have to walk on faith and stand on your 10 toes in that day, because it's going to get pretty brutal. All right. So anyway, I'm going to play this video and get a couple of precepts, and we'll end it.
Today marks a historic step forward in our national security. Let's go live to reporter Sarah Martinez at the registration center downtown.
More than 50,000 people have come here this morning to register. This is the future of secure identification,
linking identity, healthcare, and payments in one verified system.
When the mark of the beast is introduced, countries will present it as a matter of national security. Every financial institution, from the banks, hospital, and even supermarkets, will state that it is a requirement that you have the mark.
I'm sorry, but without the mark, we can no longer provide you access.
Banks won't allow you to access any funds without it. And supermarkets...
And see, that's how they get you. You got people that got thousands of dollars in the bank, and the minute they go up to their ATM and want to get the money out the bank, they can't get it because they ain't got the mark, and that's going to piss a lot of people off. So let's just say if you got $50,000 in the bank with a couple hundred bands and offshore accounts and savings accounts, and you want that money out, you're going to fight tooth and nail to get your money out, or you're going to go and fuck shit up because you want your money. But a lot of people going to get caught off guard because they're going to have their money in these banks, which at that time, everything will be switched over to digital. So you won't have feasible or tangible cash to withdraw. But as a credit incentive, you know, meaning a chip or like a crypt or like a CBDC, central bank digital currency, a digital currency, which they supposed to be rolling out any day. Now, when that happens, people are going to take they're going to take the mark because they got a lot to lose behind not taking it. Same thing with these particular welfare programs, man. You know, like these women that have kids and they're cutting Section 8. That's a way of duping them into getting the mark. Because you think Keisha is not going to sell out for $1,000 a month in food stamps to feed her 7 kids? Hell yeah, she's going to do it. She's definitely going to take the chip. Even subconsciously, she's going to know not to, because, come on, putting a chip in everybody or people, that just kind of invasive anyway. But they'll realize, like, man, this ain't right, but what we going to do? You know, and they're going to justify in their mindset that the Most High is okay with it, just like a lot of these Israelite camps going to do. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to get real sticky out here because it's going to be tied to people's livelihoods, man. All right. So here we go.
Markets won't allow you to purchase any goods without it.
You'll need to get registered before you can shop here, sir.
Hospitals won't treat any patient who hasn't been marked.
I'm sorry, ma'am, we can't proceed without your digital mark.
The mark of the beast won't be branded as evil. No, the mark will be incentivized. Early takers will be offered discounts and access to products and services. Then, gradually, those benefits will be exclusive, only to be available for the marked. They'll call it modern convenience. You'll call it a small price to pay.
You see how they got the black woman? She's glad to accept the chip because she's a sellout any fucking way, you know? But this is how they're going to do it, through gradualism. And this is the reason why everything is digital now, from your direct deposits to your banking apps, Zelle. Everything is done through transactional means or digital means now. OK, you rarely have people that go to the bank and cash paper checks, which some people still do. You know, people still walk around with cash on them, but they want to phase all that out. That's why they provided you all this convenience with smart banking, online banking, mobile banking. Because basically that's a convenient way for you to do your business without having to take time out your day. And that's what they sell you people under. Convenience. Okay, convenience would be the main culprit behind this mark. And outside of that, scaring the shit out you, you know?
Until the day you can't eat without it. Can't travel.
Reminder, all riders must verify digital identity before boarding.
Can't breathe in society
I'm sorry, sir. We can't proceed without verification.
unless you bear the symbol. You see, when the mark of the beast is introduced, the Antichrist will make life without it so difficult.
And that's where they go off at, because there's no such thing as the Antichrist, but you have many anti-Hamashiachs, okay? 2/3 are anti-Hamashiachs. All right, so this is the book of Isaiah 48, and I'm going to start at verses 5. It says, that is why I told you what would happen. I told you beforehand what I was going to do, and it's in the New Living Testament. It says, then you can never say my idols did it, which the chip is a big idol. It says, my wooden image and metal God commanded it to happen. But you have heard my predictions and seen them fulfilled. And we're seeing a fulfillment of this, of Revelation 13 and 16, okay, through a term called gradualism. Now, it's not mandatory yet, but everything that they're doing is switching over to this system. Okay, and they're going to use it under national security. And if you don't receive it, then you are an enemy of the state. That way they would justify coming after you, man. Okay, which hence Revelation 12 and 12. It's going to get real out here, man. It's going to be more than just not receiving it and going underground, which, you know, some cases that may be the case, but it's going to be some hurdles we're going to have to jump over in order to make it scot-free out this place, man. Because some brothers are going to get locked up, tried. Some brothers are going to be beheaded. Okay, this is the time we're living in, okay? And shit finna get real. While you jakes are out here playing games with the Lord's word, this is what the real deal is, man. And it says here, you have heard my predictions and seen them fulfilled, but you refuse to admit it. Yeah, you other camps, you are refusing to admit it. Okay, you got Nate still tiptoeing around this prophecy. It's not that hard, but his biggest deal is, well, I want to one-up GMS or Great Millstone, so therefore I don't seem like I'm an underling to them. They ain't got nothing to do with us. Just humble yourself down and teach the prophecies, man, for the sake of you and your congregation. Fuck us. Shit is about your salvation at the end of the day. But you willing to lead everybody off a fallen bridge because you choose to be a demon? The blood is on your hands, man. And it says, but you refuse to admit it. But now I would tell you new things, secrets you have not heard yet. Okay, because this prophecy was spoken about over 2,000 years ago, but it's playing out in today. Okay, now you have articles out there that Nero did put people into a particular caste system, you know, dealing with particular tokens and receiving certain things for goods, which is a form of it. I won't say it's a form of that prophecy, but it's the same concept. Okay, same thing with the C19 VACCINE. That's the same concept. You know what I'm saying? The real ID concept, but it's not the ordeal, if that make any sense. But it says here, yes, I would tell you things that are entirely new, things you have never heard before. All right. And I use that scripture in tandem of this chip. OK, because this was never fulfilled prior to this day. And it's being fulfilled now, not fully, not in its full totality, but it will come to pass. All right.
That many will simply cave into the pressure. People will feel the pressure from society to conform.
James Carter?
Yep.
Please follow me to room 4.
You will see a desperate longing in the faces of people who just want life to return to normal. They simply want to be able to buy and sell freely. They want to work, socialize, and cling to whatever freedom they once had.
Yeah, and that's a bad trade-off, man, because they want to put you in slavery. You take the chip, you're going to be destroyed. And they're playing on the people's livelihoods that way, and that's wicked as all hell. Because Esau is putting everybody into this system that take it. He's going to be punished twice as more than them, you know, because he's setting it up. He's setting up people's freedoms around a fucking chip, man, around a system that's going to require you to sell out. And we can't sell out, brothers. We got to stand firm, just like we did during 2020, man. We got to stand even firmer now, because this is going to be a matter of life and death, and whether you get into the kingdom or not. So this ain't nothing to fuck around with, man, while you got these stupid ass niggas out here in these other camps. And I'm saying it that way because I'm getting pissed off now, because ain't no way in fucking hell You niggas call yourselves prophets of the Most High, but yet you niggas are still playing with this, man. But it's all good, though, because majority of you that's not teaching on the mark of the beast, I guarantee you, majority of you are going to take it. You're going to justify yourself in your mind to take that chip. That's what you're going to do, because ultimately you don't want this system to be destroyed. Okay, you got it too goddamn good here. You don't want to leave. You don't want to see this place totally destroyed, man. You want it to go on.
The price to pay for this? A simple mark on the forehead or on the right hand.
Today marks a historic step forward in our national security. Let's go live to reporter Sarah Martinez at the registration center downtown.
So that's what it's going to be. All right, Mark 13, and I'm going to start at verses 23. It says here, watch out. I've warned you about this ahead of time. That's just straightforward. Okay, yeah, and that's in the New Living Testament. It says, watch out. I've warned you about this ahead of time. Now, this is going into the wars and rumors of wars, but end times in general. Yahushua is warning us of this thing, man, and to stand firm. Okay, we're going to have to really stand on our 10 toes, and what you believe is really going to be tested in that day. You know? Going down here, 13, and I'm going to start at verses 33, and it says, and since you don't know when that time will come, stay on guard, stay alert. Okay, watch. Verses 36. Don't let him find you sleeping when he arrive without warning, because Yahushua he's gonna come. I mean, the signs are here, but things are just gonna happen suddenly, like it's normal now, and then the next hour we can literally have a systematic crash. We can have something happen in America within another hour and shut this whole goddamn society down, just like that. That's what the Lord means. He's coming as a thief in the night. It says, and I will say to you what I say to everyone, watch for him. So we have to watch these things, man. Okay, we got to stay on our guard. We have to stay on our alert. And we have to continue to speak on these things, man, because when shit hits the fan and push come to shove, like I mentioned, we can't opt into this thing, man. I mean, it's just, we got to stay grounded. We got to stay rooted. And this is what the apostles mean about being rooted in this thing, because if you're not rooted, you will fall. Okay, and like I said, now a lot of dudes ain't really rooted like they think they are, and we're seeing it because men are skimping over this prophecy, all this Israelite party and all this cute shit that you guys got going on and dancing, and you trying to be the top dude, man. Look, you finna have to put that to test, man. You're gonna have to put what you practice into belief, man. Because the Lord is getting ready to hold us all accountable if we fuck up. And I'm not giving up my salvation for no nigga. It's not going to happen. Lord's will, I'm of the elect. All right. Let's go. Hold on. I think it's Daniel 6, is it? No. Do you remember Daniel was cast into the lion's den? Hold on. Yep. Bingo. Yep, it's Daniel the 6th chapter, because also going into the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they didn't bow down to the king's decree, so they was thrown in a fiery furnace. So you got to also take that into consideration. Those of us, or brothers or whatever, may get caught up in this ordeal. They can threaten you life. They can threaten your life. They can threaten you. They can threaten your family, man. These are things you have to count the cost, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to count the cost. Damn, they got you and they got your kids up. Yeah, Esau ain't going to play fair, man, because a lot of shit he going to do is going to be off the books. Especially when he grab brothers up. He's not going to operate within a realm of legality of the Constitution, grabbing brothers up. No, he's going to threaten you because he knows what we stand for. He may say, well, look, man, you take this chip, then I'll make sure you and your family good. Or if you don't take the chip, then I could just murder you and your family right this minute. You know what I'm saying? And do what they got to do. Let me a second. Hold on, Salakia, man. So anyway, this is the book of Daniel 6. And I'm going to start at verses... Yep, Daniel 6. And I'm going to start at verses 5. It says, Then said these men, we should not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the laws of his power. Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. And the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and princes and counselors and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute, to make a firm decree, and this chip is going to be a firm decree, that whosoever should ask petition of any power or men for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he should be cast into the den of the lion. So the point is that because Daniel served Yahweh Shemi Hawashai, ultimately he went against the powers to be of that particular empire. Okay, because what was it, Darius the Mede, but he was cast into the lion's den because he refused to bow down. And because of his faith, Yahweh Shemi Hawashai protected Daniel from the lion's den. Okay, so you got to look at these blessings or these particular examples and know that brothers could be put in these predicaments, man. Like, it's going to get real. Okay, Esau takes you and he puts you in a fucking pit full of gorillas or something like that, and these gorillas are closing in on you to devour you. That's when your faith got to kick in. And it's easier said than done, because a lot of brothers ain't been in a predicament that gorillas is getting ready to suplex your ass every way from Saturday, man. Nigga, put your ass in a torture rack and DDT, then a nigga hit you with the X Factor, then the other nigga power bomb you, then the other nigga hit you with the rock bottom. Like, you ain't anticipating that. You fucked up out here. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got nowhere to go. Nigga swing off the branch and do a side kick, make you spin around and shit, man. Hell no, you ain't anticipating that. So that's when your faith got to kick in. And you got to ask Yahweh Shemi Hawashai to give you the power to stand in adversity in that day and to believe. And ultimately, you just can't give a fuck what happened to you. And I think that's where most people faith falters, because they care too much what happens to them. See, faith comes in when you have the power, when you have the power of not giving a fuck. That's when your faith really shows itself, when you don't give a fuck no more. That's when things start to unlock. But when you steady concerned about was it going to hurt or this and that, then your mind is going to kick in overdrive, and your mind is going to start creating barriers and avenues for you to escape without depending on the Heavenly Father. So you got to be in the mindset and have enough hatred in your spirit for this place to say, I don't give a fuck what happened to me. Do what the fuck you got to do. That's when the Lord going to work with you, man. And we all got to get to that point, because the comforts of this world, shit, it'll take that away from you unknowingly. Just believe that. And it says, now, O king, establish the decree and sign in writing that it be not changed. And the chip is going to be a decree, a law. It says, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which alter not. Therefore, King Darius signed the writing in the decree. And now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber towards Jerusalem, which is to the east, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his power as he did aforetime. So this is the spirit we got to be in, brothers. All right. You got to stay locked in. All right. Because it's going to get real graphic out here, man. You know, man. A lot of men ain't ready. They just not. Revelation 14. And I'm going to start at verses 9, and it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive of his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same should drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture, which is those judgments, the missiles, into the cup of his indignation, and he should be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb. So you ready to get body slammed by gorillas or get the missiles? Which one? Because the Lord can do way more damage than a fucking gorilla. All right. And the Lord can put the spirit on those gorillas to actually protect you and be a guide to you. And you have to believe that as well. Okay. Look at the examples. Follow those examples. Look at shit that happened throughout your life, man. How the Lord has gotten you out of jams and you came out unscathed. Remember those examples, especially if you really occupied in the work. So with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Shemi Hawashai. Lord's will you edify. Until the next lesson. Shalom.